we're kind of doing this challenge, right? Amanda just said, I want to have this Chrome extension. And I was like, well, you can just do that in ChatGPT. And then I was like, wait a minute. I can say that. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and see if I'm correct. But we're basically going to whip together this app like super fast. All right, here we go.
What model should I be using?
It sort of depends on the task that you're doing. I'm using O1 Preview myself because I think that it will properly structure things. Once I get that, I'm going to put it into Visual Studio Code. In case you don't know, it's free. Just type in Visual Studio Code, you download it. Okay, so Amanda, tell me what it was that you wanted. Wait, are you able to talk to my ChatGPT?
Let's try it.
Okay.
Hey, ChatGPT. Did it work? What do you call her? What's her name?
Sweetheart, I don't know. I'm just going to type in what you say as fast as I can. So
Okay.
you said I want
a Chrome extension that allows me to make notes about any website that I'll see anytime I go to that website.
Do you want this to be like in a side pane, like on the side?
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
You want it to be anywhere where you're on that same domain.
Yeah, so I could I mean, you probably shouldn't put your password there, but maybe a password hint. Maybe a password hint that I would know that.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really unsecure, but fine. Okay, so
I won't do it.
No. Okay. So what we have here is you got the ChatGPT thing on the left, and then we got this Visual Studio Code on the right. So we're just going to follow this step by step, and it does a really good job of just saying, here's what you do. So first I'm going to create a folder on my computer where I'll store the extension files, and we're going to call it domain notes extension. It doesn't matter what you call it, by the way. Now I'm going to create the manifest.json file. So right here, I am going to add a file, new file. It's going to be called manifest.json. I'm going to go Control V here. And then I'm going to create the content.js. And then I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here.
Got a little style action happening.
And then I'm going to go styles.css. And I'm going to paste it in. And then optionally, I can add an icon. I don't want to do that because I think we're almost there. This thing might possibly work. Huh?
Oh, you got to make sure you save your files, though.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Control KS. Somehow I know this. Control KS, okay? So now I'm going to open Chrome and navigate to Chrome extensions, right? And I am in developer mode. I turn that on and off, but now I can do load unpacked, and then I'm going to open that up. Failed to load extension, cannot find icon. Okay, so apparently it's not as optional as it says. We have to find icon.png and place it in the extension folder.
You can have it make an icon for you.
Okay.
That's what I did with the blur tool. Yeah, I just was like, hey, can you make an icon this size? And then it made it not that size.
What do you supposed to look like, Amanda? Like notes?
It should probably have a panda with a pen or something.
Okay.
You need to give it some like dimension information. Or
well, we'll see if it just knows. It didn't want to make one for me.
Maybe if you use 4.0.
Yeah. I usually switch to a 4.0 as soon as I've got like the main source code. So I don't know if everybody knows that, but you can just switch between models, and I do that all the time. Could you make? Oh, that didn't work out very well. Let's try it again. There we go. Honestly, if we just downloaded an icon.png and just pasted it in there, everything would probably be fine, right? Okay, so I got it. Domain notes extension, and then I'm going to add in this thing called icon.png, and then I'm going to save it. And then we're more or less back in business here. So let me see if this will work now. Oh, now it's looking for background.js. All right. Actually, we're going to tell ChatGPT this one.
Should you switch back to O1 preview?
It shouldn't matter. Okay. All I'm going to do is just tell ChatGPT the error that I get. So we just probably are going to wind up modifying the manifest JSON.
Yep. It looks like it already did it for you too.
So let's see if this now works. Hey, it loaded. So there it is. Okay.
The truth.
I'm going to pin it here. And then we're going to go to like some website. I guess we'll go to rivalflow.com. Hey, look, I'm going to type my notes in and I'm going to be like, these are Amanda's. Then I'm going to go to some other site like spyfoo.com. And then these notes are here for SpyFoo only. These are Amanda's SpyFu notes. Let's go back to Rival Flow, and yeah, that worked.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey,
Yeah, and then so we could go back to SpyFu, and there they are. And then like if we go to like any other site like Etsy or something, and those would be those specific notes, right? So there I
this
think
is
kind of did it, right? Now you're gonna ultimately be like, actually though, Mike, I want it to like be able to be collapsed and all that stuff. And then when you want that, what you do is you say, oh, actually, ChatGPT, I need it to be able to do this. So what else do you want it to do that it's not doing right now, Amanda? Because I think that this next step is kind of one of the more important elements of doing this is that we got it working, right? It
we
was
launched.
a little bit of we had like a tiny amount of problems, but that always happens. There's always the, oh, here's the error I'm getting. It is the thing that happens. But you can continually improve on this thing. And for something like this, you can kind of go a decent distance before you run into like, I guess what I would call is like the limits of what AI can do. But do you want to try to like improve it at all?
This makes me so happy. I mean,
You can do it,
collapsible.
right? You feel like you could pull this off?
Yes, I could have done. I mean,
You
I'd have
could.
needed a little either hand holding or video to go back and forth on for a sec. But this is so great. And then I'm gonna use it, and then I'm gonna see what else I needed to do.
If you're starting over from nothing, you can just be like, hey, I've got this Chrome extension. Here are the files. I need to modify it to do this. Like, so I'm going to just show you this real quick, right? So great. I like to talk to it like it's a person. I really want it to be collapsible. Another way of doing that, because I find that like if you give it as much context as you possibly can, it'll get it more. It's way more likely to get it right. So if you just talk to it and give it your whole spec, you're very likely to get exactly what you want.
Yeah, like if you were to add details like I'd like to be able to change the background color of the notes like for different websites, you could just tell it and it's going to do a pretty good job most of the time.
It would be nice to blur stuff sometimes, because what if I have like a Christmas list and then my kid comes over there? I don't want them to see all that.
Okay, so here's a key thing as being like a sort of no code AI developer person that you are now, because we've just made this happen. What is important
Congrats, Amanda.
is that you do these things step by step, right? So I'm gonna reload this thing. I forget. Do I need to like update it?
There's that little refresh button. You can just hit that.
The refresh button. So I want to manage extension and hit the refresh button there. So we got the collapse button now and the expand button. It's not a beautiful expand collapse button, right? I'd really prefer it to use an icon or whatever. But if we want to add in your blur thing, let's just do that.
This is just getting better and better.
Yeah. So this is great. Can we add ability to blur out my notes? Let's see. Dude, it's going to work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to paste this into content.js as it's still writing everything out. And then the other one was styles.css. And it seems like it's updating. Okay, look at that. Boom.
Oh, there it is. Nice.
Now I can put my passwords in there.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see.
Just kidding. Not my work ones, at least.
But anyway, what you would do if you wanted to have them collapsed by default or blurred by default is you say, I want them blurred and collapsed by default, and then it would do it. But I'm not going to do that now because, you might as well have the app that you want, right?
This is seriously something that I've wanted for years.
Okay, cool.
You were talking about it at like dinner when we were in San Diego or something, and we were like, "Yeah, I mean, you just get."
Do you want it blurred by default, Amanda, or do you want it to just like keep your blur state per website?
I mean, keeping my blur state per website would be even better.
Amanda's so happy.
So
This
happy.
is awesome.
So happy.
Do you also want the notes to be up or collapsed by default?
Or do you want it to remember your previous setting?
There we go. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Blur state. I feel like it's useful to spell out what I really mean, because otherwise you're kind of asking it to read your mind a little bit. So I'm giving an example. So if I have it expanded and blurred the last time I was on a site, that's how I want it to be when I come back. If it's collapsed and unblurred when I leave site, that's how it'll be when I come back. By default, when I first visit a site, how do you want it to be?
Probably expand it because I might forget about it.
By default, when I first visit a site, I want it to be expanded and unblurred. Sound good?
Yep.
Sweet. And I'm going to copy this. This is our content.js. We should be good to go. I just need to go Control K S, and then we're going to go back into our sample and
reload the extension.
Should tell us, okay, so we're collapsed and not blurred. We go to SpyFu. Key thing there is that we haven't really paid attention to is when we move around URLs. So boom, we're moving URLs. Everything's still the same. So basically, we just built your perfect Chrome extension.
Yep.
This is so useful.
The world's a different place, right? Like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a Chrome extension developer. I mean, I am by virtue of this, but before, yeah, no, I never built a Chrome extension before. I just started like whipping out Chrome extensions for no reason with ChatGPT, you know?
I'm going to be doing this all night.
What about an extension that DoorDashes your favorite coffee order on the click of a button?
Have you seen those Amazon buttons and the hacks that you can do with those suckers?
I haven't seen the hacks. You're talking about the like the subscription button things?
Oh, it's just all it does is make a Wi-Fi call so you can do anything you want. Just take any action.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Connect it up to Zapier or whatever and just have it do anything you want. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Guess what we're going to be doing later, Ellie?
What?
We're going to be making some Chrome extensions, you and me. Okay, so how do I get that from you?
Oh, you want it?
Yeah.
So the way that I can send this to you is I can just make it into a zip file, and then all you gotta do is unzip it to a location and attach it, just like I did. Remember, we went into Chrome extensions. You have to go into developer mode, and you have to unzip your file, load unpacked, and then boom, you got it.
Okay.
So that was fun.
That was so fun.
I'm actually kind of surprised at how I'm not surprised, but like it. That we had a couple of things that
Yeah,
kind of went
those
wrong,
things.
but all things considered, that worked pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be a couple things that go wrong.
Yeah. So now the trick is for then us to make another one of these, and then you're going to do it.
Incredible.
Oh, how did you get it to do that? Did you just make those up?